So today is March 12th, 2023, and this is an update on everything that's going on. So as you see down here, these three, we can focus on these. These are the clippings of my Ficus benjamina. Here is our parsley. Back here, all this, if it'll focus, all this here is our beautiful dill, starting to stand up nicely. Here is our basil. I love to just kind of come in here and touch them a little bit and have them put off their scents. It's extremely good, keeps all the pests away. And then we've got down here is two more of the Ficus benjamina bonsai clippings. Back there is a agallonium. That's the one we got on Valentine's Day that ended up being waterlogged. So I separated it. There's two of them. This one is actually the, let's see if we can scoot you this way. You can see that one is just the stalk. When I repotted it, it actually broke off of its root system. So it is a little bit yellow, but it seems to be doing really good. Still has a lot of color and hasn't withered too much. So we're gonna let that be. This here big guy is where I harvested my pineapple, and it's still doing well. So we're gonna give it a drink of water today. Here is my Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And if you see, it's starting to get yellow in there. I have not done like anything to him besides give him some water here and there. So we're gonna have to tend to him soon. There is the other agalonia. I think I got like 4 of them all together. So that one has bounced back amazing. You can see how beautiful green it is, nice and healthy. It's got the beautiful red in it, so it's doing extremely well. And this little thing down here that looks like a shark, we'll take a, I'm going to turn you around over here on this side so you can see. This is my amaryllis, and I just took it out of its original pot, found out that its roots were way outgrown. So it took me a little bit to get it out of the pot without cutting it. Didn't lose any roots. As you can see, it's in a 1 gallon, I think that is, pot. I put some new soil in it, put the rocks on top so we don't have critters, and it's growing like a weed. And it's supposed to be seasoning so that come fall, it'll give me a flower spike and another beautiful amaryllis. But, well, it doesn't want to go to sleep, so I don't know. Here is Joe. For all of you guys who have been following Joe, Joe is our rubber plant. Ficus elastica, and we have it in a teepee here to kind of hold it all together. It's supposed to be a tree. When I got it, it was very branchy and all. So down here I kind of braided it together just to keep it from dangling off of the pot. You can see it's got so much new leaf growing. Beautiful color to it. Here's some more buds, and it just keeps growing and growing. Now we're gonna take you over here. That back there in the aqua bed is oregano. It is overdue to be pulled out of there and put in soil. I just watered the baby pineapples. I'll turn you a bit. One of the bonsai clippings, and actually I'm going to do an entire video and show all the bonsais, and I'm looking for names for them. Here is our orchid. As you can see, this is the adopted orchid. She's doing really well. Got some amazing roots. And, oh, I gotta turn it this way. Hang on. There is the flower spike. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe spin it a little bit more so you can see the spike is coming out here. Out there with a couple of cute little leaves. That is going to keep stretching, and actually it'll come up with a flower spike and then bloom this year. This is a new one. Down there, it's a bulbous kind of plant I got from the neighbor. I believe it's some sort of an orchid. And it's actually supposed to be speckled like that. So I put it in orchid soil, put it over here so it gets better lighting, watered it, and we'll see how that goes. There is another baby pup down there of pineapple. Here is another one of the aglaumina. This one actually does have roots to it and a bunch of pups down there, but she's kind of really iffy. I got her on a string to hold her up because she's so top heavy. We'll swizzle you down here. Here's another one of the bonsai clippings. There's another one back there. You can see that. I'm forming them and shaping them. So, like I said, I'm going to do an entire video on that. So, I'll walk you through all that later. There is my gifted orchid. And look at her leaves. See if we can go this way. She's just getting so big. This is the one that fell on its head a couple times. So we're working on her. Then we have the full-size bonsais. Again, I'm going to do a video on this because it is time to prune them and propagate them. You can see we've got some stray branches in there. Couple more. It's coming out of winterization. There's the other one over there, doing amazing. So we are going to go ahead and prune them, wire them. Here is my ficus ginseng, and it's doing well as well. All of the lucky bamboo, which are yellowing. I have not got to them yet. So, and then the big mamba jamba lucky bamboo. Yeah, they need to all be cleaned up and worked with. The out of control aloe. I got another one over there. You can see that one has babies. All of my aloes have babies right now. And I don't know what I did to get the babies, because last year they didn't put off babies. So I wasn't for sure what we were going to do with them and if I had to get some more. And fortunately, we let them go through the winter. And with the heat or what have you in the house, they've just grown like crazy. So let's keep going here. I have the very first pineapple that I plucked off of the pineapple plant. He is still thriving. I just gave him some water. There is the mint, and the alarm is going off because I just boiled some eggs. I'm going to make some egg salad and utilize some of that dill in my egg salad. Again, here's our mint. I put these rocks on the top, so most of them, our plants, either have rocks. This guy is still trying to fight. But most of our pots either have those cute little fish rocks or mulch. And while we zoom this way, because this is our time, and you can see he's on his last leg. I'm not exactly sure what happened with him. So here's the mulch, and you're probably wondering, what is this setup? Well, this is my money tree. So we're going to bring you this way to the front of her. And we're going to zoom up, up, up. This is where they cut it off. So I cleaned up the cuts, put some wax on it. Got it wired, and we'll come back this way so you can see. Wired it. They had tape here, and it has left such a terrible scar. So we took the tape off. It was still holding its form. So what I did was I just kind of stretched it up to keep the braid going. And then you can see here, maybe, there we go. I've tied up some more. These are a close-up of it. Here you go. So I just took the tie off of this one to pull this up because I really want it to keep going up, up, up. So we're forming this, got it held together. You can see, yeah, there. You can see all the little ties to hold all of its new sprigs together and form them up so they're not all cattywampus and outwards. This little guy has got so many new blooms since we sealed this off and cleaned it up. You can see it's had some really rough bumps and rough road. Down further somewhere there's a crack in it. Oh, that's over here. See if I can move this leaf. Yeah, when I got it from the store, they really did a bang-up job on it. So it's got some scars and cracking and scratching on it. So I'm cleaning that up, working with getting it nice and healed. Yeah, you can see they really did a number on it. So I'm cleaning it up. And so if you know anything about the Lucky Money tree, it is a tree. They braid the trunk, and the trunk's braiding is supposed to capture prosperity and bring you luck. This is one that we got at the big box store for Valentine's Day along with the Aglaonia. And we got these on sale for $3 each. But the big, the money tree, Lucky Money tree, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but when it has 7 leaves on here like this, that's actually good luck. So you can see we have 3 leafers. I think the 4-leafer fell off last night. We have some 5-leafers, 6-leafers, and 7-leafers. You can see it's growing like a weed. The reason that its leaves are not open like this and big is 1, those are the new leaves, and 2, the sunlight, you can see, is a lot lower than the plant. So it's not getting top sunlight in order to open up like that. And this is actually a artificial sunlight, but it works really well. All of my plants love it. And then the only other light we have is up there or from there. We've had some really nasty, rainy, cloudy days. So it's not getting a lot of sun right now, and it needs more sun than it's getting. But of it in this concoction is one, most of the big box stores use peat moss when they plant things up. It's easy for them to not have to water them, transfer them, and everything, so that's what they do. I put some pine bark shavings on here. It's in its original bucket. I have not wiped it down. Now, this is a tropical tree. It needs a lot of moisture, but it does not like to be wet, similar to my handy dandy snake plant. As you can see, it is growing like a weed. We're going to do a video on separating that. There's a little croton. He's really struggling. That's our sacrifice plant, I do believe, because the spider mites are just going crazy. Every time I get rid of them, they come back on just that plant. So anyways, I have it on this brick for the pure fact that now it's not sitting in the water underneath in the bowl. This water will evaporate up. Now this is quite a bit more height than what should be, and you can see this is almost empty because I haven't filled it yet today. So the water evaporates up, and then the leaves actually will take in the water and the moisture and utilize it without it getting root rot or having any problems with the soil being too wet. That's our homemade concoction for now, till I get something else, because I didn't have anything else to hold it up out of the water. So we're working on that. So let's take you on into the bathroom where we have the rest of the plants being fall, winter seasoned, and it's going to be too dark. We better turn on the light. Okay, so here's the original aloe, and you can see it has babies too, and those babies are not so small anymore. Here is another one of our aloes, and you can see it has some babies down there and pups growing off the side. So that's going to have to be one that gets repotted soon too. Then we'll take you down here to my winterized citronella. I checked it the other day. I'm pretty sure it's probably gone. But we're just going to keep watering it and see. I watered it a couple days ago, but it's not doing much. Then we have, get down here on the floor. These are the ponytails. Those, well, if you've been following, you know that the cats have been chewing on the ponytails. And so most of them have went dormant. This one here is the only one that is left that has stayed green, and the cats have not destroyed. If we get really close, you can see the bulbousness in it. When it actually gets full size or more mature, the bulbous part is actually supposed to stand up a bit. It's called an elephant foot. And then the green will come up and look like grass. So it's not poisonous or toxic to animals, and my cats love to chew on my plants, so it's hard to keep them from eating things. In the meantime, here, and I don't know, yep, there it is. This is, you can see there's a little bitty bud there, or root. That is the root system where the stem broke off of the agallonium. Here are the aloe pups that we potted last year, and you can see they are just growing like crazy. This little cactus guy was a gift. I don't really know what it's called. The browning on it is actually because it absorbed a little too much water. Otherwise it's doing really well. I just got this little leaf, so I'm trying to propagate that. I got that from the store, and just a leaf that was sitting in the top of a pot, so I brought it home. And that's some sort of a succulent, so we'll see how that works. Now for me to get up, I'm too old. Here is another bonsai clipping. These are all the ficus, tiger's bark ficus benjaminas. And they're doing excellent. As you can see, there's the other cactus back there. It's a different kind of cactus, like the one, this one here is like this guy here. And it's a different kind of a cactus. You can still harvest the aloe, but it's more of a hard, the spots are like rough bumps. Or this is the normal cactus that I'm used to. Both of them give you aloe. They're both aloe plants, so you can use them for medicinal purposes and stuff like that. All of your aloes you can use like that as far as I'm aware of. So we've got quite a few aloes. Here is one of my smaller Ficus benjaminas. No, tiger bark, excuse me. Those are all tiger bark. This one was also a tiger bark. He did really well till I moved him up on this top shelf. And now he's drying out, getting all weird. So I think it's probably dying. That's another kind of a succulent that was given to me. I'm not exactly sure what it is. The girl I got it from, she actually pulls a bunch of these off and just leaves like a stem with a couple on the top. I'm not so keen on that. These are the famous clippings of the Ficus benjamina, aka ginger root. I like to call it the ugly baby tree. And you can see here they are also coming out of dormancy because they're starting to branch out, and you can see they're reaching out of the bucket, so they're ready to be replanted. Yeah, you can see all of those branches over there. So they're getting repotted into buckets here before too long. We're going to put them in new pots. And okay, yeah, you need a little bit of, you can see he's got some speckles on him. This one fell off, and they do season, and these guys have not lost their leaves. The ginseng bonsais, or ginseng, Ficus ginseng, don't usually lose all of their leaves, or at least mine didn't. So he's starting to come out of dormancy, so we're going to be them up into their own individual pots and let them grow a little bit more, and then we'll start forming them. And then you're supposed to top them off, which means cut the top off, and that will cause the root itself to thicken up and bulbous, referring to the Ficus ginseng and Ficus benjamina ginseng, same difference, aka I call it my ugly baby tree. And you can see it's got the bulbous roots, and this one, most of them, they use one kind of stalk for the bulbous root, and then they air layer in a different breed that gives you the smaller leaves. If it'll focus, there you go, the little bitty small leaves on it. So I've cleaned up some of the wound, and the sun's gonna interfere with it, so yeah, it's not gonna work. So I can't focus on it right now, but like I said, I'm gonna do a full video on my bonsais and go through those, do some pruning. I'm gonna wire them up a little bit with the wire that I do have. Now, let me tell you, just so you know, if you see the way this is wired, that is not the recommended way to wire these. The reason that I have them wired like this is because they are just cuttings. The full bonsai, this guy, with the nice trunk, and then the limbs or branches, and usually you taper these off into just one branch that branches up and turns into a tree. Let's see if we can get over here. Yeah, see him? This one is, if you've been following me, that's Ant-Man. And this is Hitchhiker. We're actually probably going to give them new names. And then this one does not have a name. When I do my video on all the bonsais, then I'm going to be watching for the comments to see what kinds of suggestions you guys have for naming them because they need names. I've got so many of the tiger's bark and now the Ficus benjamina ginseng that we're going to have to start naming them so we can keep track of them. And then, of course, here's a piece of wire that I have left, that I have one more of the clippings down. I don't know if you can see it from here. There, that guy there, I still have to wire, and I'm gonna kind of wrap him up too. This guy is, well, maybe if we come this way, there you go. This guy is a dual trunk. It has two trunks. It's a V trunk, and so I'm just gonna let that guy grow for a little bit. And I'm debating on if I'm gonna wire it up. We got a dead leaf there. Debating if I'm gonna wire it up or if I'm just gonna let it grow. With the way that the trunk V's, what I'd like to do is try to allow it to continue to V and then arch it together and twine the top so that it twists and then blooms, and it'll be like the shape of a heart. And I've been watching all of these different bonsai videos and doing a lot of research on how to prune them, how to shape them. As you guys can see, there's a lot of limbs, a lot of new growth because they're coming out of dormancy, getting ready for spring. And so I have some outlandish, off-the-wall ideas on how to take these limbs and really twirl them and do something really cool and unique. I haven't seen anything like this that's in my head, so you're gonna have to watch the next video in order to find out exactly what it is that I'm going to try and do with these beautiful tiger's bark ficus bonsais and the Ficus benjamina ginseng. I've got some really good ideas, and I think I can actually pull it off. So I'm excited about that. So that's pretty much all we have. Oh, yes. And of course, the notorious forgotten houseplant. And you can see how forgotten it is. It is so leggy. It's got a leaf down there, it's got leaves here, it's growing up there, it's shimmied all over here. I've had to turn it back around. Now it's giving me a bunch more growth. Every time I water it, it turns funny colors and then it bounces right back. So I think I haven't repotted that since I put it in that pot like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a while. Shh. So I'm pretty sure that the soil is pretty spent, so I'm gonna go ahead and as soon as it gets warm again and dry, I'm gonna pull her out of there, probably do some major pruning and lopping off, and put it in probably a smaller pot with